Okay, so we've got our fly in our hook in our vise. We're going to put a thread base, and you do want a thread base all the way back to the bend of the hook. It works much better on this fly when you're tying that foam on. It really makes a difference having a decent thread base on. And then we're going to wrap. I am having issues with my vise, just like Mike was last week. So we'll tie back close to the front. Then we're going to take our foam, cut a strip with your scissors that's about the same diameter. It can be a little wider, a little narrow. It doesn't have to be exact, as the gap of the hook. And then at the tip, you want to cut a little bit of a point to it. Makes it easy to tie it in, that first little bit of a tie-in. So give everybody to give you all a chance to cut your foam.
I think they're all ready there, Joe.
Okay, so now near the front of the hook, we're going to tie our foam in, and we want to keep the foam on top, and then we're going to keep it on top and tie it all the way back to the bend of the hook. I'm going to go back a little further this time than I did last time. Maybe. My vise is acting up. So wrap it all the way back, wrap it up to the front, and then wrap it back to the back again. Actually, about halfway. So let it hang about halfway from the back.
Looks like they're all ready.
Okay, so now at this point, we're going to tie in our chenille. And again, wrap it all the way back to the bend of the hook. Wrap your thread back up to the front. And then we're going to wrap our chenille, nice tight wraps up to the front. Leave yourself a little bit of space. And once you're there, we can go ahead and cut that off. So go ahead and do that part. I'm going to give it another extra wrap or two.
Looks like we're there, Joe.
Excellent. Okay. We pull this forward. Remember, keep it on top. Give yourself a little bit of a loose wrap. Then tighten it down. Make sure it's on top. And then you can go ahead, once you have it where you want it, pretty close, you can go ahead and take your scissors and cut yourself a little bit of cut it off, leaving a little bit of a head like that. So let's go ahead and get that done, and then we'll have one more thing to do. And in this case, you could be done. Like I said, a black fly is very hard to see on the water sometimes. When I first learned to do this, I would actually use a little bit of white or orange nail polish on top so I could see it. Put it right up here on the shell. Made it a little bit easier to see. But I find that a white or an orange tuft sticking up really works well.
Looks like we're good, Joe.
Okay, and so now just take your polypropylene and do kind of a little bit of a loose wrap and then tighten it down. Make sure it's in the center on top. You really don't want it to hang over the edges. Give it a couple of wraps, cut the back end off, and then now you can do a whip finish. Just get that right whip finish right in the center of it. Do two, so that the first one you don't have to crank down too hard. If you crank too hard on some of this thinner thread, it'll break on you. Cut it off and you're done. So instead of that white polypropylene, you could also use foam. A lot of people use a real tiny piece of foam in there.